am Dr. Dashni, the founder of Digital Magic, a social enterprise activated by Magic, which strives to serve and deliver social goodness through care. Our focus area is child and adolescent care, where development and delivery of preventive care models shall remain relevant and mainstay in addressing the nation's growing pediatric malnutrition issues and challenges. Through our Doctors at School patented program, we provide affordable and accessible on-site medical service to preschoolers and school-going kids. Our women-led organization, with just turned one, we have served almost 1,000 kids and 150 teachers, and we keep focused to our vision of healthy kids and happy parents. Together with this, we hope to push forward the social sector, care sector, as to be part of the national agenda, health agenda, as our commitment to Astana Declaration and SDGs in a greater way for universal health coverage. That's all. Thank you.
STEM education and tech enterprise here in Kuching, the learning curve since 2017. That brings modern STEM infrastructure and training to underprivileged communities in Malaysia. I also co-founded an agricultural tech startup last year that addresses challenges in job and food securities through growing imported vegetables purely from electricity instead of fossil fuel here in Sarawak. And just like growing food, I believe in laying strong early foundation in STEM education if I want to see future generations of Malaysians that are critical thinkers and problem solvers.
I'm Adrian. I'm a social activist based in Sabah. I founded the organization called Tonebung. It's a social enterprise. We operate the Center for Renewable Energy and Appropriate Technologies, or CREATE Borneo. Our center basically focuses on developing renewable energy and appropriate technologies for rural communities so that we can address some of the pressing needs by the community, especially with regards to energy. So we have been developing micro hydro mini grids to light up rural communities, and through these mini grids, we have been developing productive end use activities so that we can develop the economy of the community. So we have been serving the marginalized communities in Malaysia, particularly the Orang Asal, and we also have to to network with many other organizations or individuals that looks at also issues like climate change. Thank you.
If we thought of countries as companies, we would radically change the way we develop our civil servants. Sarawak is an economy of 136 billion ringgit a year, and our civil servants manage this economy and also take care of the social well-being of 2.9 million people. My vision for the state of Sarawak is to have state civil servants who are responsive, data-driven, and who have a close ear on the ground on what's happening. I work at the Leadership Institute of Sarawak Civil Service, where I'm working closely with the HR unit in the government to radically change how we develop, train, recruit, and promote our next generation of leaders in the government so that we can build a sustainable economy that takes care of the social well-being of everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mildred Wood, and I'm an optimist.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Nirmala. Thank you for having me here. It's really honored to be among great people here. I see so many good things. I'm from the Credit Counseling and Debt Management Agency, or better known as AKPK. We are here to provide financial education, financial empowerment, and helping people to get out of that problem. So I actually head the Department on Financial Education, where we work on providing various financial programs. And what we believe that financial education has never been more than important. Today, if you see now, it's very, very much more important. Financial empowerment is the key to improving one's financial situation, maintaining one's financial situation, leading to good financial well-being. That is very important for a sustainable society and creating a better nation. So we believe very much into that, and we want to work with more and more people and collaborate with more people so that we can get this financial empowerment out to the community. Thank you.
Hi, happy to be here. My name is Iza. I'm a social worker, journalist, and also executive director at Women Girls. So through my organization, we help women, girls, and also young people via our various nationwide developmental programs to make women leaders in their communities and also young people as agents of change. To date, we've impacted more than 20,000 beneficiaries, alhamdulillah. In 2018, I also founded Gang Gadis, an online platform and also podcast about navigating girlhood and womanhood. It's on Spotify. And my work is important because I'm working to provide tools to our beneficiaries to reach their potential and in small steps to move the needle to have more women decision makers and ultimately to witness the first female prime minister in Malaysia. Thank you.
Is there any greater love than that of a mom? My mom is very, very dear to me, as you all know. She gave me life, makes sure my tummy is always full. When Dad died 22 years ago, she worked her life off to raise the three of us. Unconditional love. One day in 2013, I came home from Germany to Johor Bahru to stay with Mum after a long retreat. I finally had the time and space to really listen to her and was so shocked to take in all the entirety of her chronic health issues. Minor stroke, pre-diabetic, fatty liver, that lump on her back, high blood pressure, the cyst in her wombs, her migraines, and the chronic loneliness, the boxes of pills. I was overwhelmed and a deep yearning to take care of my mom filled my heart. When we pause and look around at our loved ones and friends, how well are they? Do you know someone close, young or old, living quite healthily, who has suddenly found out that they had breast cancer, lung cancer, kidney failure, autoimmune disorders like eczema, lupus, arthritis, allergies, trouble conceiving, hormonal imbalances, depression, anxiety? Apart from Mum, my childhood friends and I found out that all our loved ones had all of the above. We researched and suspected that it had something to do with the normal food we were buying and eating. So we took a drive to Cameron Highlands to see where our food comes from, how it's grown. I was so shocked when we arrived at Ringlet, the first town. It was no New Zealand. Scarred, massive landscapes filled with plastic greenhouses, river the colour of teh tarik, bare orange degraded soil, strong whiff of chemicals filled the air. And I can still remember what a shy Indonesian farmer there said to us. Gaji saya baru 1,000 lebih. Tapi sini 20 ekar sayur, saya satu daun pun tak makan. Sendiri beli luar. Racun pakai sangat kuat. Orang pun selalu sakit, anjing pun mati. Tahun-tahun pakai lagi kuat pasal tanah sudah rosak. Tak pakai, tak ada gaji. Ada satu racun hitam dari Thailand, satu sudu, apa pun mati. Gajah pun mati. Semua tempat sama ini, Cameron. The alarm bells just boom went off. He was right. Statistically, 99% of our food is grown this degenerative way. Not healing, but killing us. Not just degenerating our health, but our farmers' lives, our precious soil, our forests, our biodiversity, our water. And all this damage is not in the price of that normal vegetables that we pay. We pass it on to our health system, and our children. The next time we shop for groceries at Jaya's Village, Jasco, or when our Grab meal sits before us, take a pause. Can you touch the destruction of nature? The Indonesian farmer's story? 9.9 out of 10 of the food we buy? Should we just keep eating and feeding our loved ones in forgetfulness? Or should we wake up? Just 3 days ago, Malay Mail reported that another 2 elephants died of suspected poisoning on a vegetable farm in Johor. Vegetables that were grown for us. Gajah pun mati. How long more do we want to be accomplice to murder and destruction of our health? The time is now. Globally, awareness is changing, and science is proving that farming that is good for nature is good for our health. Young people are starting regenerative farms everywhere. Why not in Malaysia? For us, 6 regular families got together and we started a community regenerative farm called Feed Our Loved Ones, Follow, growing organic food for 150 families. On our small farm, we have seen illnesses heal, mothers finally giving birth, less trips to doctors, trees and biodiversity coming back in just 5 years. We can use our same human gifts to give life, not take lives. But we need you to go from a regenerative farm to a regenerative farm movement that will change the system, to actively become part of a food growing movement that regenerates nature and our immune systems. No more sleeping partners in crime. The power is in your hands. No matter what age or how busy you are, there's something you can do. Ask yourself, how much time do I really want to dedicate to the well-being of my loved ones? Now take that time and talk to me for a free lesson on regenerative farming. Or Google regenerative farming. Visit farms, organize your friends to start your own community farm. I promise you that I will walk with you. For all the mothers, for the mother of all mothers, our Mother Nature. Thank you.
I grew up watching my mother in tears and bruises, and all she did was keeping quiet and accepted her fate as a married woman. My mother was a victim of patriarchal society. She got married before SPM, and she never sat for one because she was told that woman's duty is actually in the kitchen. She was physically, mentally, emotionally being abused, but she was told by her parents, who is my grandparents, that it is normal for women to be submissive. Her suffers indirectly taught me that a person needs self-respect. Women need to be empowered. I am a survivor of gender role norm. Since young, I was judged on what I wear, whether I was modest enough, how I talk and smile. I had an unhappy married life, and I was judged for being a divorcee. My success was measured on my marital status, how many kids I have, and whether I was an obedient wife. My degree matters nothing to them. Gender inequality has been seeded deeply in our culture and norm. Many are in denial and many fears to say it loudly. It has been normalized for decades and happened to many, to anybody and anywhere. It doesn't matter whether a city, rural, educated person or illiterate, young or old, married or single. For 30 years, we have seen and heard many stories of gender inequality. Some girls become mother at the age of 13. Some married their own rapist. Some were beaten to death by their husband. Some were harassed verbally and physically. And it happened at workplace, school, hospitals, and even public area. I remember Cikgu B when she just joined the school. Every time she entered a class, students would smile and laugh at her. But when she leaves the class, some boys will come forward and start drawing on the blackboard. They drew Cikgu B with protruded breasts and buttocks. They laughed about it loudly. They make vulgar and sexual remarks. Surprisingly, there were girls among them. There were also some girls who were sitting quietly. They felt embarrassed and awkward. And they started to have these thoughts. Do they make jokes about me as well? Do they draw about me? Am I modest enough that people don't think about me? And these thoughts left as a thought because they keep quiet. No one made a report. No one stand against the crowd. Have you been in a similar situation as Cikgu B? Maybe at workplace, or school, college, kedai mama, or social media, where people normalize sexual harassment, gender inequality, and disrespect women. Were you the one who laughed about it? Were you the one who laughed at? Were you the one who's sitting quietly and trying to be invisible? Or were you the one who stand against it? These stories were common 20, 30 years ago, but unfortunately such stories still happening today. Ain Yusniza, a 17-year-old girl, posted a video on TikTok where she called out a male PE teacher who made jokes about rape in the class, and she lodged a police report against him. Instead of praising her for her bravery to come forward, she was condemned and for damaging school and the teacher's reputations. She received rape threat from her own classmate and lewd comment on her social media from many male, including teachers. Can you imagine that? Teacher B was my teacher, and she left the school because she felt uncomfortable staying longer. And I was one of the girls who kept quiet in the class. Today, I'm very proud to see Ain has started a national movement, #Make a School a Better Place. I wished I was as brave as her to come forward to against this norm. If I stood up back then when my mom was abused, when I was judged, when Cikgu B was harassed, maybe today Malaysia would be a better and safer place for kids like Ain. Today, I'm standing tall against the normalization toward discrimination against girls and women. I'm calling Malaysian, especially law enforcement and policymakers, to enact a Gender Equality Act as a mechanism to protect women from discriminations in various facets in life. I'm calling parents and teachers to teach our boys to respect girls and teach our girls to have self-respect. Don't wait until your sister or daughter or even yourself to become another Ain or Cikgu B or my mother or myself.
I'm Hazwan Razak from the Acumen 2020 Malaysia cohort. I work with the Sarawak Digital Economy Corporation, a public sector outfit that champions digital enablement and digital talent development for my state in Malaysia. I remember my first seminar, on Zoom of course, feeling a little lost and not really sure I belong amongst these amazing people that is my cohort. I'm sure some of you feel the same. But looking back, to describe it in one word, I would say my year 1 experience as a fellow to be a blessing, or in Spanish, bendito. The blessings come in the form of the people that I've met, my family from the Malaysia cohort with whom I've laughed and cried within our safe space, and played the occasional game of Among Us, and have explored the good society readings together. The wonderful stewards of the Acumen Academy who helped make sense of it all, and the fellow alumni from the world over, with whom I feel a kinship.
My name is Nasha Nick, and I am from the 2020 cohort, Acumen cohort in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. We actually call ourselves the Corona cohort. I manage and build the capacity of Rohingyas in Malaysia at Rohingya Women Development Network and Host International. If there's one word that I would use to describe my journey at Acumen last year, it would be accompaniment. Not only was it a word that I learned more in depth through my journey at Acumen, but also because working with refugees and asylum seekers in Malaysia can be challenging, especially during pandemic, and having 20 amazing fellows always on my side and just understanding and getting it, and being able to be there for me more than my friends and family and sometimes even colleagues was everything. I looked forward for all our 4 virtual seminars and also every meeting that we organized in between amongst ourselves. I couldn't have asked for amazing sisters and brothers, and I really hope that you'll have just an amazing journey throughout. Enjoy!